Yo, boys, what's going on? So we got Paul here. Paul, how long have you been a student of mine for?
Been a student for 2 months now, and I've been closing for 3 months.
I wanted to get him down here because he just took a trip to Miami, and he hit a feat that he's been wanting to achieve for a long time now. So, Paul, why don't you just tell them like what happened recently?
Just hit 13K per month. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. It's 12.92, but let's just call it 13. When I first started with Johnny, though, I was on another offer, and I had a 30% close rate. The last week that I had a full calendar on that offer, I hit 70%. Now, yeah, there you go.
And so, walk me back. Like, obviously, you hit 13K this month. You're closing at 70% now. You're like the top guy on the offers and stuff. What were your metrics at before we actually started working together?
So I was closing at 30% and on an offer with the warmest leads known to man. Like organic, warm as lava, 30% close rates. So it was not good at all. And also when I was taking calls at that time, I felt like really nervous and I didn't really have the confidence in my ability, which, I mean, a lot has changed recently though. I was making like 3K per month when I first started.
So 4X, because you've been working with me for 2 months now? 3 months?
Not even that.
2 months. Yeah. So he's been working with me for 2 months now. Literally 4X the amount of money he makes and almost 3X his close rate, which is insane. Actually insane. So take me back, like before you actually joined, what were the specific problems and challenges that you were actually facing with when you were actually selling people?
So number one is, like I said, I had zero confidence, but I also had no clue on how to objection handle and pre-handle objections. So like at the end of every call, after I price dropped, I would literally be like shaking and like, oh shoot, if this guy gives me an objection, I'm screwed. But now, whenever someone gives me an objection, I'm completely calm and I'm like, let's do it, dude. Let's run it. Let's play. So that's what's going on now.
Let's go back to like the first few weeks of the programs, just in terms of like quick wins. What were the main things that you felt like you implemented immediately that really made the biggest change in your results?
So the biggest change I had like within the first 2 weeks is learning how to pre-handle objections. Like one, I'm having a lot more objection list closes and I'm making leads look like laydown sometimes, but also I'm able to like literally rewire their entire way of thinking and their perspective. And I've had guys who went from like zero confidence and did not think that they would succeed, had a ton of uncertainty, to the end of the call, like literally like wanting to like completely just dive right in. Like it's insane.
Okay, so what were some of your main hesitations or concerns before you actually took the leap and invested in yourself with like this program specifically?
So I was already in a training program before. And when I was on the call with John, I had like a bajillion objections. I was like, I already have a program. I feel like I can just continue using that and it's going to get me to where I want to be. And I had like a little bit of fear of like investing into myself because like at the time it seemed like a lot of money.
And so what would you tell someone who's like, they're considering doing it, but maybe they're in another program or they're considering doing it and like the money is just a ton because, you know, everyone's been in that scenario, but as salespeople, it's like you got to be congruent with yourself. So that means sometimes getting over your own money objections. Like, I guess, like, what would you say to someone who actually struggles with, you know, the fear of failure, the fear of spending money on themselves?
One thing that John always tells me is what gets you from point A to point B isn't going to be the same thing that gets you from point B to point C. So, like, a lot of you guys, the reason why you guys are watching this video in the first place is you guys are probably ambitious. You feel like you can do a lot more, but your actions aren't necessarily aligning with your goals. So, like me, I wanted to be the best, but I didn't have that congruency, right? Like when it came time for me to actually invest into myself, I wasn't willing to do so because I just kept thinking I could continue doing what I've been doing. But like, dude, the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result. So when I was on the call, he literally rewired my mind. And one thing that he told me is like he identity framed me. So like the version of you that's being able to retire his parents and achieve his goals, how would he make this kind of decision? Would he like continue sticking with the same things that got him from point A to point B? Or would he do what would put him in the best possible position to achieve his goals? And when he said that, I just like, that's when I realized and I literally said like, I'm just being a pussy. And then I went ahead and did it.
Sure, there's a lot of people out there. As you know, like there's tons of sales gurus in the space. I guess for you, like what made you decide to take the jump with me as opposed to like any other sales guru that you see?
So I was following John on Twitter for like a couple months before I actually joined the program. And when I saw him for the first time, like, this is not to like glaze you, bro, but I was like, dude, this dude, I genuinely just never saw like anyone on that skill level. And there's a lot of other people out there that are like, they're really good marketers, but when it comes to like sales ability, it doesn't really like align. So I would say look at their actual skill level rather than like their marketing.
Yeah, the man, the myth, Paul went from 3K a month to 13K a month, and the sky's the limit. Like I guarantee this guy's going to be hitting 20K a month like within 30 days. So I mean, the guy's a beast. You guys go check him out. Paul, why don't you drop your socials?
My Instagram is Paul Vu. There's 2 U's in the Paul, and then yeah, that's good. YouTube channel is Paul_Vu. I just like document like my journey. I have a video when I was 17 saying like I'm gonna retire my parents, get to 100K this year. I completely failed, but you can see like how I've transformed over time.